Now at 10, the KOAM nations asserting criminal jurisdiction over non-Indians. Plus, authorities file murder charges against a Southeast Kansas woman accused of killing an infant boy. And from Ukraine to Southeast Kansas, we'll hear from an exchange student watching her nation at war from afar.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The KOAM nations now prosecuting certain crimes against non-tribal members in tribal court. This is KOAM News at 10. This comes as the existence of the Quapaw Reservation was upheld by the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals last October. Now this change allows the nation to assert criminal jurisdiction over non-Indians. Previously, if a non-Indian committed a domestic violence crime on tribal land, it was handled by federal court instead of the tribal courts.
So we do have multiple cases where a non-native will come out on the reservation and be involved in an assault or domestic violence situation with a native victim, and sometimes those don't get prosecuted because of the gap. So just the ability of the tribe to be able to fill that gap and protect their citizens is just very paramount.
In addition to domestic violence crimes, the new jurisdiction also includes dating violence and violations of a protective order. So a bit of a change in the weather today. More changes over the weekend. Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we had the clouds roll in for us today. Also, the winds picked up, but at least the temperatures still pretty good. 73 for a high, started at 46. Normal high is 56 degrees for this time of the year. You can see those clouds working through, even a few showers. Most of those didn't even reach the ground. As wave number 1 passes to our north, wave number 2 developing out to our west, which is going to start to affect us during the daytime hours for us tomorrow. All right, temps still pretty good. Most of us are sitting lower 60s. With the southerly wind, we're not going to drop off much. We're going to continue with south winds in that kind of 10 to 20 mile per hour range as we go through the rest of the overnight hours. So what that will do is keep our temperatures up only to about 59 for an overnight low. Back to 71 tomorrow, but we are going to get some thunderstorms over the weekend. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
Catch you then. A La Harpe, Kansas woman is officially charged in the death of a baby boy. Allen County Attorney Jerry Hathaway says the crime happened in January. Now, following an autopsy, he says he's received the evidence he needs to charge Rebecca Dobbs with first-degree murder, felony murder, and aggravated child endangerment. The attorney did not release more details about what happened that led to the boy's death. Authorities say a male student shot and wounded a school administrator and a school resource officer today at a suburban Kansas City high school. The student was also shot when the officer returned fire. Authorities say all 3 are expected to survive. Police say the shooting occurred in the office area of Olathe East High School, but didn't provide details on what prompted the incident. Police say the student is an adult and was taken into custody. No other students were injured. A statement from Overland Park Regional Medical Center says 1 of the 3 people wounded is in critical condition. The other 2 have been discharged. KDOT plans a closure on this stretch of US 166 at the intersection of 5 Mile Avenue east of Baxter Springs. Crews are expanding the highway to 4 lanes and building 2 interchanges from 400 southeast to the Kansas-Missouri state line. While the work is underway, drivers should follow the marked detour signs on 400 and US 69A. The work is expected to be finished by late May of 2024. Still ahead, the U.S. continues to rally support among allies as the war in Ukraine rages on. And we'll hear from a Southeast Kansas exchange student from Ukraine about watching her nation at war from afar. After a slow start, the Russian invasion of Ukraine is now bearing down, with fighting that's raging across that country, destroying cities, neighborhoods, and lives in its path. Natalie Brand has more.
Amid concerns fighting could worsen in coming days, thousands of people in Kyiv are crowding the capital's train station, desperate to escape Russia's war on Ukraine before it's too late. It's estimated more than 1 million refugees have fled to neighboring countries as the danger intensifies.
We have seen the use of cluster bombs, which will be in violation of international law.
On Friday, Russian troops seized the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe after shelling set it on fire. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky called it terror on an unprecedented level. Concerns of a potential radiation leak were reduced after firefighters put out the blaze. Reports indicated no radiation was released.
The intentional targeting of civilians or civilian objects would be considered a war crime, even as we are assessing that.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken held emergency meetings with NATO allies in Brussels.
Russia has never been so isolated. We have never been more united.
Here at the White House, President Biden met with the leader of Finland, which shares an 800-mile-long border with Russia.
We agreed it's not only an attack on Ukraine, it's an attack on the security of Europe and on the global peace and stability.
As the U.S. and allies slap sanctions on Russia, President Putin and billionaire oligarchs, lawmakers on Capitol Hill have called for a ban on the import of Russian energy.
We are looking at options we could take right now to cut U.S. consumption of Russian energy, but we are very focused on minimizing the impact to families.
Meanwhile, Russia is trying to control the narrative and quash discontent over the war. The Kremlin blocked Facebook and Twitter, and now there are no independent media outlets left in the country. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
The White House announced Vice President Kamala Harris will travel to Poland and Romania next week, while tomorrow U.S. senators will meet with Ukraine's president via Zoom. Students and staff of Southeast High School surprised one of their very own today, a foreign exchange student from Ukraine. The school wore blue and yellow T-shirts that said, "Pray for Ukraine" on them, showing support in light of the war going on in her home nation. We sent KOAM's Jalen Banks to check it out.
Now I have even more important role to be the only one Ukrainian person that people know in the community in the area. So I just really feel lots of support here and appreciate that.
Chicago.
Just being there for her, asking her how she's doing. I think this support's amazing. It brings this patriotism in our school and just in our community, the sense of family.
So
They are in the safest region, but it's still not safe because you still wake up from the alarm sirens and you still sometimes can hear the military airplanes flying about your house. And even if they don't bomb your city, that doesn't mean that you're not being stressed. They're really emotionally exhausted because you live in that all the time.
in here at least.
You also have to remember that people can be going through a struggle with themselves, not just with what's going on in the world. So this is helping me understand. She's talked to me a couple times about what's going on, and it's made me really realize that there's bigger things in life.
Sophia says that through it all, she's maintained communication with her family and says they are safe. Later, the national championship is on the line as OCC basketball welcomes in champion Christian.
Plus, we're watching for thunderstorms over the weekend. I'm going to give you those details coming up. Another nice day for us today. Temperatures right back up into the 70s for highs. All week long we've had 70s, even though the winds picked up today and a lot of clouds. I'll definitely take the temperatures that we did see. Nice shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resorts. Friday night, parking lot's full. That looks pretty good as we go into the rest of the overnight hours tonight. Then we start to see some changes over the weekend. All right, look at our temps. 4 highs, lower 70s, upper 60s, so even with the clouds, we still warmed up. Haven't dropped off much. Most of us are sitting lower 60s. We'll only back down 58, 59 degrees for us tonight due to the southerly winds. They're going to actually keep our temperatures up. South winds at about 10 to 20 now, but we're still getting some winds gusting a little bit higher than that in that 25 to 30 mile per hour range, which is just going to be pretty much the norm for us tonight. Here's 7th and range line. We're looking north and west. Currently outside sitting at 63. We have south winds at 15, humidity is at 45%, but overall it looks pretty good. We've had the clouds kind of working through, even had a few random showers earlier this evening. Those really weren't reaching the ground as our lower levels of the atmosphere are very dry. They will saturate as we go through the next day or so. Here's our next little band out across western parts of Kansas, the beginnings of our next wave here. Third wave behind it back in the northern parts of California. All right, let's go through time. Let's go through the overnight hours tonight. Clouds thicken up once again. As we work through the morning hours, scattered light showers start to pop up. Hit and miss showers, maybe an embedded thunderstorm. Late morning into the early afternoon, these race east. Here comes the sun. Here comes the nice temperatures as we go into lower 70s again. 59 to start, 67 by noon. High temp 71. Still those south winds at about 15 to 25. All right, tomorrow night, or actually tomorrow evening, our cold front rolls in. This little band of thunderstorms is going to try to develop and push through. I'm not anticipating these are going to be severe, but they may be a little bit stronger, but they won't last long. These work through, cooler air works in, we get a break between wave 1 and 2. Here come the clouds again. So here we go. Here's Sunday afternoon. Showers, thunderstorms increase. These could be a little bit stronger if we had anything severe or if we had any severe thunderstorms. I think they're going to stick across Delaware, Ottawa, Newton, McDonald, Benton, and Berry counties. We want to keep our eyes on that. Everybody else, just good old thunderstorms. Periods of showers, thunderstorms for us Sunday night into Monday morning, and then as the colder air continues to work in, we may get a few little snow showers that mix in by Monday morning. At this point in time, it does not look like any accumulation, but something we want to keep our eyes on. All right, rainfall could get quite a bit of rain, 1 to 2 inches. We need it as we head into the spring months. We can always use the rain, but 1 to 2 inches, pretty good dosing across the region. And then another storm system will affect us late next week. 71 tomorrow, 59 on Sunday, 41 on Monday. So we cool down Monday and Tuesday. A much cooler week next week. We'll watch for rain and snow chances again late Thursday.
And you're right, of course, we do need the rain this time of year, particularly after it's been as dry as it has been and the fire hazard that we've had.
Absolutely, yes.
Thanks, Doc. Cherokee American Legion Post 35 is making sure their neighbors are well fed. The post serves free food to anyone who needs a hot meal. Doesn't matter if they're from the county. Anyone can swing by and get pulled pork, hot dogs, pork fajitas, and lots of other good stuff. We caught up with the man behind the grill, Mark Nash, to hear about why he's taken it upon himself to give back.
Cost of food is high, and some people, and then gas just went up. And they say it's supposed to go up more, so food is an essential. Make the belly feel good and nutritious. It helps our kids learn. It helps us get our work done.
Well said. Post 35 is at South Vine Street in Cherokee. Donations are accepted, but they are not required. Coming up in sports, Carl Junction girls aim for their 7th consecutive district championship. And Labette County and Fort Scott square off for a spot in the 4A state tournament. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Missouri Southern men hit the floor tonight in Kansas City for their first game of the MIAA tournament. The Lions face Fort Hays State, aiming to move on to the tournament semifinals. Now, the Tigers are the 3 seed. Southern is the 6 seed. That game actually still going with 90 seconds left. Lions are down 68 to 55. Stan Scott has 20 to lead the way for Southern. Avery Taggart has 11. In Joplin, national championship game tonight. Ozark Christian facing Champion Christian for the ACCA national title. In the first quarter for OCC, it's Darian Carr knocking down the corner 3. She finishes the night with 13 points. Then in the second, familiar face here, College Heights product Emmy Collin. Outside for 3. That ties the game up. Ozark up 2 at halftime. Now to the third. Game is still tight. Lydia Miller, 3 of her own. They get the lead to 6 going to the 4th. Cameron Gentry, who's a monster tonight for OCC. 14 points, 22 rebounds. The Champion Christian would tie it up, send it to overtime. And they knock off Ozark in the end, 78 to 74. OCC finishes as the national runner-up. Well, Fort Scott and Labette County have been the top two girls teams in the SEK all season long. They shared the SEK League title, they split the regular season series, and they both finished the regular season 16-4 overall. Tonight, though, two teams square off in Altamont, and only one will keep their season alive. Tigers and Grizzlies meet in the Sub-State Championship this evening. The winner punches their ticket to the 4A state tournament in Salina. And Jesse Comstock, really good for the Tigers in the first here. It's the long two. The second quarter, all Labette County. Anna Dean gets her own rebound, puts it back for two. She gets 11. Grizzlies up 5 at half. And coming out of the break, Harmony Shaw knocks down the three, but Labette County keeps finishing. Madison Brandon here, bucket and the foul. Then for three, she hits it. Game high 18. Grizzlies bench erupts here. Labette County pulls away to win the Sub-State Championship 49-41.
You know, we had got off to a slow start, but, you know, these kids, we've talked about weathering storms, and they've weathered that. And once they got that lead a little bit, they got a little more confident in themselves, and they just kind of had a little attitude that they wanted to get it done. This is our last time on this home floor. You know, we talked about the kids wanting to leave an impact on that, and they did. And, you know, it's just a special group of kids. I've said all a long time they were freshmen, they were special kids, and I've never gone away from that.
In Pittsburgh, the Purple Dragons host Blue Valley Southwest for the 5A Sub-State title. And Jinwoo Kim drives and scores. 8-0 run for Southwest to begin the game. On the other end, big three for Pittsburgh's Grant Rolfs, but the Purple Dragons down 9 after 1. To the second now, Mason English. Really tough shot here goes. 15 for English in the first half, 25 in the game. But the Timberwolves pull away. Back to Kim. Gets up for the two-handed jam. Then they start to take advantage of their size. Carson Schweiger turns and scores. He gets 12. Dragons fall tonight 70-42. Blue Valley Southwest moves on to the 5A state tournament.
We talked about at halftime, you know, we just got to go out there, compete, and represent, and I was really proud of the guys for all coming out and making sure that they just left it all out there, and we did a lot of the little things right that we talked about and just competed till the end, and I'm really proud of them for that.
In Missouri, the Carl Junction girls are playing for a district championship tonight. The Bulldogs face the Willard Tigers in Willard for the Class 5 District 6 title. And with a win here, Carl Junction would claim its 7th consecutive district title and move on to the state sectional round. Destiny Berge drives, kicks it out to Hallie Shorter for 3. CJ out front early. Willard fights back though. Brielle Adamson dishes to Ella Sims for 2 off the glass. CJ, though, just too strong tonight. This time, Berge doing it herself. She connects from downtown. Carl Junction wins at 65-60. The Bulldogs, district champs for the 7th consecutive season. Missouri Southern Baseball opened up their 3-game series with Northwest Missouri with a 5-2 win yesterday. The Lions have now won 3 straight games and are 10-7 this season. The Southern back on the field today for Game 2 against the Bearcats. Northwest gets 2 runs off of errors, but then Tommy Stevenson blasted out to center. He hit 2 homers today, now has an MIAA leading 10 this season. Few batters later, Jordan Fitzpatrick, solo shot. The game is tied, and Southern doesn't stop there. Next inning, Ryan Doran and Matt Miller go back-to-back. This one is Miller, his 6th of the season. Still in the second, Stevenson back at the plate. Shoots it to right for the RBI single. That brings Clay Milas home. To the third now, Doran again. His 2nd homer of the game, 5th of the season. 6 jacks today for the Lions. They go on to beat Northwest 8-6. To Pittsburgh, series opener today between the Gorillas and Missouri Western. They were down 3-0 early, but here, Cruz Aranda for Pitt State. Dead center on this one. Clears the wall for the solo shot. Aranda 3 for 4 today with a pair of RBIs. Later, bottom of the first, Garrett McGowan. I lost it in the clouds, all right? It's out there somewhere. 8th homer of the season for McGowan. Gorillas within 1. They would go on to take their first lead in the 4th inning. Ryan Koval, laser shot up and out to left. Bounces it off the street out there. His 1st of the season. Pitt State up 4-3. Caden Fowler adds a 2-run jack in the 8th. Gorillas take the opener over Western 9-4. Missouri Southern Softball is hosting the Lion Classic this weekend. The Lions are on the field this afternoon to open the Classic with a doubleheader against McKendree. I will start with Game 1. Kara Amos gets the strikeout here. She goes 7 innings, 7 strikeouts. Scoreless after 3, then top 4. Kelsey Sachs, base hit. Paige Hayden comes home for the first run of the game. The Lions answer, though, in the bottom half. Leighton Withers pops it up to right field. Sacrifice fly scores Josie Topai. Game is all tied up. Then later, Kristen Wade on third. Look at this. Abby DeSanto into pinch hit. It's her first career home run, and it gives the Lions the lead. Missouri Southern hangs on to win Game 1, 4-2. Now in Game 2, Southern trying for the sweep. They do it in blowout fashion, 10-2. Ashlyn Williams gets double, a triple, and drives in 4. Adriana Young hits a triple and drives in 3. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Time now to honor a local veteran. Private Mark James served in the U.S. Army. He's from Columbus, Kansas, and we are proud to salute Private Mark James. He's tonight's 4-state hero. Before we move on to other things, we want to say so long for now, not goodbye, but so long for now to this guy right there. You see live in our control room. Wave to us again, Jake Tackberry. Yeah, Jake is the producer, a longtime producer of our 6 and 10 News. At 6, we enumerated some of the things he does other than looks at random pieces of paper and staring at the camera at the end of a newscast.
Yeah, do you think that was planned? I mean, are they like trying to act like they're doing something back there?
That looked scripted to me.
Yeah.
Suspiciously so, but he says no, and you can't argue with Jake because he is the best. And you know, we have an awful lot of people, a lot of moving parts behind the scenes who make all of this magic happen, and Jake is a huge part of that. He's the guy who coordinates and has his finger on all of the parts, keeps them going. Comes to content and to the writing and to the graphics and to all that. He's moving on to pursue another opportunity. We wish him well, but gosh, Jake, we're gonna miss you, buddy. We're gonna miss you.
He's fine.
He's fine.
He's all right.
One of the things he has to do is put up with
No,
guys
seriously,
like us.
I have so much respect for that guy. He's what it means to be a journalist. He does it the right way.
We all agree.
I agree. He's going to do great. Next venue.
We know he will. Wish you well, Jake. Thanks for joining us. Let's make it a great weekend.